The Diana V2 update just released on Hypixel Skyblock, which introduces a new skill and a total revamp to how Diana works. In this video, I'll be covering pretty much everything you need to know about this update, as well as how you can prepare for Diana's next mare cycle. Judging by this next election, Diana has a very small chance of being elected. I mean, not a lot of people are voting for her, of course, but I'm going to show you how to prepare for her next election, which will be in 3 days. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So if you haven't already, I would highly recommend to read the forum post. I'll leave a link to that in the description so you can read it for yourself if you really want to. But I'll just be breaking down everything that it mentions here. So the first and most notable thing about this update is, of course, that Diana got a rework. So what this did is it added a lot of different new mobs that you can kill. It also added another rarity of the Griffin pet. So if you want to get these new and exclusive mobs, you'll need to have the highest tier of Griffin pet. So if you do have a legendary Griffin pet, then you need to use a mythic Griffin upgrade stone, which you cannot get right now, but next Diana, when she is in office and you can get all these new items, you'll be able to craft it. Essentially, for this upgrade stone, it is going to cost a lot of money, I'll just say that. So you're going to need 3 stacks of enchanted gold blocks, which is around 5 mil per stack. You're going to need 2 stacks of 64 enchanted ancient claws, which are around 2.5 million. You're going to need a base griffin upgrade stone, which is cheap. 2 braided griffin feathers, which go for around 20 million. And you're going to need some mythos fragments, which you will get from the new Diana. With all of that, you get the upgrade stone, which you can upgrade your pet to mythic. So with the mythic Griffin pet, these stats are going to be pretty similar to the legendary ones. The mythic will allow you to get 12 types of mythological mobs instead of 10 like the legendary. And it also has a new perk called Ancient Earth, which will grant you 1 tracking on Griffin burrows for each burrow excavated in your current chain. So now you may be wondering what tracking is. So tracking increases your chances of finding elusive mobs while doing certain activities. So every single digit on your tracking will increase it by 1%. But in terms of the mythological ritual, you will have a higher chance to find the specific mobs: the Minos Inquisitor, the Sphinx, the Manticore, and the King Minos. All of these have the elusive name bar on them, so you'll be having a higher chance of finding these mobs. So now, like before, burrows have 4 chains in them. At the end, you would be guaranteed a reward, but now they added 2 different upgrades to the Ancestral Spade. Each of them respectively adds +2 burrow length. At the highest tier that you can get up to +10 burrow length. So each chain will have 10 burrows in it. If you want to upgrade this, you are going to need the Archaic Spade, which can be crafted using the Ancestral Spade with Griffin Feathers, Enchanted Ancient Claws, and Enchanted Gold Blocks, as well with the Hilt of Revelations, which is a new item that you can drop. This upgrade will give you 6 burrow length. If you want to increase on that, you're going to need the Defic Spade, which can be crafted with the Archaic Spade, as well as 2 stacks of enchanted gold blocks, the Hilt of Revelations again, enchanted ancient claws, the braided griffin feather, and 16 of the mythos fragments. Using this, your chain length will now be 8, and if you want to build on this even more, you're going to want to have the Daedalus Notes reforge onto your spade, which will increase the griffin burrow chain by 2. But based on the crafting recipe for this book, I assume it's going to be around, I want to say under 15 million, but above 10. So if you really want to apply it to your Ancestral Spade right now, you can still probably craft it into the higher tiers without losing the enchant. But honestly, I would just solely focus on leveling up my spade into the highest tier. So now you may be thinking, oh, what's the point of having a higher chain? So what this basically means is, compared to before with the 4 chain, so what this basically means is your chains are going to have a lot less arrows. You're going to get a lot more drops as well as mobs. And if we go back to the mythic griffin pet, the perk of +1 chains means that you'll have a extra 10% chance of getting something good at the end of your chain, which is really good. So a lot of items got changed into different versions with better buffs. So the item you are going to need in order to craft these items is going to be the Hephaestus Anvil. So with this, you're going to need enchanted ancient claws, the mythos fragments, a Zog anvil, braided griffin feathers, and enchanted gold blocks. So with this item will allow you to craft a various amount of different items. So using this item, you can craft items into better versions of themselves. So like the Hephaestus remedies, what you're going to need is the anvil as well as 3 antique remedies, and it'll be crafted into the Hephaestus remedies. So like the normal antique remedies, where it'll increase the pet strength by 80%. With the newer version, it'll increase it by 100%. Same with the crochet tiger plushie. You get 35 plus bonus attack speed. With the new version, you get 50. Washed up souvenir, 5 plus sea creature chance. With the new one, plus 10. Increases all pet stats by 33.3%. The new version increases all pet stats by 50. And the Jschlatt will grant 10 plus true defense. And the new version, plus 20 true defense. As well as the urn, the last item, will give you 5 plus pet luck. With the new version, give you plus 10. So everything might seem very expensive, like the braided griffin feathers to craft an item that'll give you plus 50 bonus attack speed doesn't really seem worth it, but I am pretty certain that the prices of these items are going to drop with the new Diana. Since the burrows will be longer, more people will be doing this and basically just trying it out. So there will be more items in circulation, and like I just said, the chains will be longer and people will be getting more rewards. So it leads me to believe that the prices will drop, but don't quote me on that because I'm not entirely sure. Now, a very good addition to this is they added some new attributes. The Cretan Bull Shard adds plus 4 defense against mythological mobs. The Minotaur Shard is going to grant 0.5 magical find against mythological mobs per tier. The Sphinx Shard is going to add plus 0.5 tracking on griffin burrows. And the King Minos Shard is going to increase coin gain for griffin burrows by plus 1%. And that is pretty much it with everything inside of the update. There are a lot of quality of life changes inside of the patch notes, but I don't really want to cover them. If you really want to, I'll have a link down below so you can check it out. But what I really wanted to do with this update was just cover the most important things, the most important changes of it. And I think I highlighted the most important stuff inside of it. But now what you've been waiting for is how you should actually prepare for this update. So if you're like me and solely want to make money from this update, I personally will probably not be doing burrows like 24/7 like some people will. I'll just be flipping items on the auction house because with a new update and a lot of new items added, prices are not going to be stable. So what I mean by that is if the first person to ever get an item lists the item on the auction house or the bazaar or whatever, they are going to set the price for insanely high because there isn't really a price for it, you know, like no one really knows the value of it. But then if you fast forward like 2 months, then the price might be stabilized. So you could be selling a item that's worth like 100k coins for like 1 million, and people will buy it because the value is unknown. So that's the good part of new updates, is once the market gets stabilized, once people realize the drop chance of this item and how easy it is to get, then the prices will stabilize. So an item that I would really be focusing on, I forgot to mention also, with the Mythos fragments, you can upgrade your challengers set into the Mythos set. So an item that I'll be focusing on is of course going to be the Mythos fragments because they are included in the crafting recipe for a lot of items. And the next item that I'm probably going to focus on a lot is of course going to be the attribute shards. The Minotaur shard is probably going to be the one in highest demand, alongside the Sphinx, which will give you the new tracking stat. So a lot of people are going to want to be buying that to increase their tracking stat. It's going to be very easy since it's a shard. You just buy it, then boom, you have increased tracking. So the Minotaur, the Sphinx are the ones I'm going to be focusing on because I assume there is going to be a high demand for it. Now specifically for the tracking skill, the Brain Food, which is a new item, will give you +1 tracking and you can consume it 5 times. So even just setting a bizarre buy order for this, you might get some sucker accidentally selling it to you. So I don't really know what else to say except just babbling about the same stuff for another 20 minutes. All I really need to say is these new items, it may be worth to actually craft them once the items get released and then sell them on the auction house for a high price. If you aren't really focused on making money just by like flipping the items, flipping the new items, and you actually want to play the event, here's how I would go about preparing for it. So the absolute first thing you're going to want to do is have a legendary griffin. If you don't already have a legendary griffin, you could probably hold out to buy a mythic griffin, but since the item is going to be new, the prices are going to be super crazy. So right now I would buy a legendary griffin pet, and then once I get the items, I just upgrade it to the mythic rarity. But if you actually want to enjoy this event, you're going to want to have a legendary griffin by default, because that's the best pet that you can get right now for Diana. Now, once the event actually starts, there are a couple of things that I would focus on getting first before doing anything else. Of course, the first thing is going to be upgrading your griffin into mythic rarity, and the second is upgrading your ancestral spade into the highest tier to get the 10 burrow chain, which will increase your rates by a lot and will allow you to get new items a lot faster. Then I would focus on getting the new equipment set, like the golden fleece and the manticore claw. These will increase your stats as well as your magic find as well as tracking, which will increase the odds that you actually get something good. But yeah, that's basically it for me. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to add, anything I've missed, leave them down below so others can see it. But yeah, that's basically it. See ya.